Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week of USS replay streams. I am Kyoya, and I'm joined here by everybody's favorite cat in a bag, Darwin. Darwin, how are you doing today, man?
Yo, what up? I'm not gonna lie, I just woke up from a nap. Straight up.
That's
But
very
I'm
fair.
ready.
That's very fair.
I'm ready to watch some Overwatch.
We are very ready. We have a very exciting game ahead of us today, at least for the first match. We've got ICL. Winston is found by a police helicopter. Very awesome name, in my opinion. We got any opinions on that name?
That's a banger name.
That's
Any
pretty
name
good.
like that is just heat.
ICL last season had Winston's hiding a skip, so it's I would assume it's a continuation from last year, but against Mandarinchester. So there are two very, very exciting teams to watch. Mandarinchester last week just beat last season's second place Oxford Omnics 2-0 in the first week of USS. So it seems that Mandarinchester are looking for a better result from last season, as both teams did fall a little bit short around ICL did end up falling quite quickly out of Div 1. Mandarinchester holding out until about 5th, 6th place. So I think both teams are coming out swinging and really looking to have a lot better of a result than they did last season. But how are you feeling about today's matchup, at least replay matchup?
Honestly, I'm not familiar with all the teams. I'm just here to watch some good old Overwatch. I'm just here for the vibes, bro.
Yeah, get hype, get talking about it, get to talk
right.
about all the gameplay.
Yep. I'm so excited to just watch some Overwatch. I'm simple. I'm simple.
That is fair. That is all good. That's exactly what we want to hear. Is, you know, we're ready to have some high level gameplay and hopefully see who ends up winning the game today. Do you obviously you don't know the teams that well, but do you have any bets, any ideas on how you think either team's gonna do today?
Gotta go with the goated name. Gotta go
by a
boys.
police helicopter. That is a very fair point. I think I have a little bit of bias towards Mandarinchester, as both of my big bosses from being a tournament admin are both from Manchester. So I will support the Mandarinchester. I also really enjoy the name as well. I like that name too. But of course we are unsure of how it's going to go. We casters are kept in the dark about how these games do go, so we are unsure of the results. But we will obviously get into that fairly soon and see how the game actually ends up going.
For sure. Best part is they could tell me this stuff and I just wouldn't know.
I would
just be like, oh, they told me. I don't remember.
I would forget as well. That's the thing. I'm terrible for it. They could tell me the result. They could tell me everything that happens in the game word for word, and I'd be like,
okay.
And
then I would get in the game and be like, oh my god, they won.
Oh. Honestly, I mean that's better to do it that way, you know. If we know the exact results, if we know exactly what's gonna happen, then how can we get excited about it, you know? How can we bring a good show to the people if we know exactly what's gonna happen?
Oh, it's gonna be hype though. I think they like feel out what are the best watching games, so they're just like, here, have some hype content.
Exactly.
Being spoon fed good games, you know.
But this is one of the top seeded match, I think, from round 2 of this week just passed. So they're the top 2 seeded teams currently, as the results have been coming through. They are absolutely coming out swinging this season. So I am very excited to see how these two teams actually end up doing, as both teams are incredibly talented. ICL has Power still. Power, very, very good tank player. Mandarinchester still has Elliot as well. So they have star players, very, very, very big names in the Uni Overwatch scene as well. So we are very much in for a treat, I'd say, with these two teams. ICL has always been a pretty good pretty good university for Overwatch, and same with Manchester as well. They've always had multiple like big names and big teams coming through. So
for sure, this will be really cool. Can you let me know what kind of heroes are we going to be seeing? Because obviously we don't have the 5, we don't have the new 5, but
that is true. That is true. We don't have it for a little while, and I'm kind of sad about that. I was really hoping to be able to cast over some of the new heroes, but
bro, that cat is a demon. That cat
is a demon. But I am completely unsure of who we are going to see. I honestly, for the past few weeks, these 2 past weeks, I've been completely doing other things, so I have not been actually active in the USS stuff, whether it's admin or in the streams, unfortunately. So I am actually kind of lost on how each of these teams are doing and how they are playing. I've taken a little look at the seedings and standings, but I'm unsure of who we will be seeing each person playing. But I'm sure we'll probably end up seeing decently meta picks throughout the course of this game. But we do have the map coming through here just now, so we will be playing Runa Sapi. How do you feel about Runa Sapi as a map?
I've seen a lot of this map for very obvious reasons. I think there's a lot of room to mess around. You get a couple of good picks. There's a good from what I've seen in terms of bans. I haven't seen too many like let's ban a meta pick here. Like I'm seeing a couple of Zarya bans on this map for very obvious reasons, but I think why we're seeing those Zarya bans is the Vendetta. Vendetta Zarya is just absolutely crazy, even after these durability hits. It kind of just doesn't matter. I was talking about this just a couple days ago, and it makes sense. Like you go, it's an old school bubble your dive. They can't die, and then they can use their cooldowns to get out. It's a very old school. We've seen this back in the day with Zarya, Genji, and Overwatch Classic. So it's not surprising that we're going to be seeing this here. We might see more of it here. It makes 100% sense. But from what I've seen, we're seeing a little bit more of like targeted bans. In our games yesterday that we watched, we saw a bat ban like, hey, we just seen they were very comfortable on this pick. We want to put them on their toes. So we might see a little bit more of a comfort pick ban. Try and get people off their things they feel comfortable on. Let's put them in a little, let's test your knowledge a little bit. Is what I think we're going to be seeing here. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think for the first map, you tend to see like a more standard pick, unless the team's already well versed in their opponents and know exactly what they're going to pick. So you tend to see the meta picks come out first, and then after that, they tend to ban out the ones that are causing the teams the most amount of problems here. But we do have the bans coming through just now. We have ICL banning out the. See, just a second. I hope. This is the first time casting over this this new ban system. So we have an ICL banning out Tracer, which is very fair. Tracer can get exceptionally annoying on these backlines, which is a very fair person to ban out here. And then Mandarinchester banning out on the tank. We're banning out Mauga here. Mauga has been exceptionally annoying. I will admit that, I feel. I've gotten back into Overwatch now with the new patch, and I've run into way too many Maugas, and I hate it way too much. They're terrible to go into. So I think it's fair. These are two fair bans coming out from both sides here. But
for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think about those two bans, huh?
Mauga. So the interesting thing I found about Mauga is it's very good about bullying certain tanks. So I usually ban out Mauga if I'm on, a tank that kind of just gets bullied out of every single engagement. So I'm wondering this is more of a comp ban rather than a overall that we find this is strong. The Tracer ban I feel like is just say, hey, we don't have a Tracer player, or hey, we're not going to be playing something super divey. Let's get Tracer off of this. So Tracer seems more of like just a generally good ban. I think the Mauga might be a little bit more of a we're running something, we don't quite have an answer with it. Maybe you don't have an Ana is my guess. It seems a little bit more of a we can't quite answer this sort of thing. However, I think Mauga's specifically very good in this map. You got these long hallways where you just kind of have this massive body that can left click and right click towards you, Like it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Mauga is a very annoying person to play into here, but we are getting into the map now here. So both teams obviously are we see power onto the hazard here. Vendetta is obviously left open, so we do see Wantom on that hero now. Both teams, big brain on the Vendetta as well, so, unsurprising here to say the least that we have both teams running the Vendetta now that it is, with it being open still, but...
Just kind of walking out to neutral, so not nothing too crazy going on, gearing up. I think the Vendetta's going to try and look for a flank. She just looks like she's just trying to find like maybe the Kiri here. Dipping very, very low.
Just playing along the sideline here for a little minute. Not really contesting much of the point right now. Trying to fight this sideline here. Vendetta's already both Eloy, Elliot, 1 HP on that Echo and on Tom, finding the overhead onto Elliot there. And Lucio is falling to that overhead as well. Vendetta has just been so strong here. Both teams already just coming out swinging. ICL, though, winning out in that first fight almost immediately with the... One Tom does fall, though, unfortunately. When I didn't fall. Sorry, my bad. One Tom did end up getting Big Brain there, and ICL just winning out in that first fight so confidently there. Vendetta just immediately winning out with those overheads.
Oh yeah, scary character. You kind of walk out, someone explodes, and it just kind of dominoes fall from there, sort of thing. The Echo pick is very interesting here. Probably just looking to not try and engage with the Vendetta whatsoever. I'm curious to see how this works out. Again, I'm not sure about sitting in this little hallway here when we have a Vendetta mirror going. That's a little bit suspect. That's very scary. Not where you want to be standing with that character. Sadzi just trying to harass his backline just a little bit, get a little bit of space for his team. Eloy getting a little low. Kind of just gearing up for the neutral. We got a big dive here coming onto Eloy, and down goes Eloy. Big Brain also falls. Wonton also falls. This fight can still go to anyone. Just very precise with these dives, and down goes Sadzi as well as Geode, and ICL just looking to be ahead just a little bit, but down falls Power, and Mandarinchester grab the bot back.
ICL taking the first point there, but immediately after taking that first point, Mandarinchester immediately just coming back in and winning that fight out. It was a really, really big dive onto Eloy there. Saji eating up all the heals that were going onto Eloy there, and Vendetta just the Big Brain Vendetta able to just kind of capitalize off that and find the kill, and that was a really big opening pick. Elliot already finds sticky bombs onto Geode there, and Geode falls. Kiri Suzu comes through, Rampage out here, Power finding Big Brain onto the on the Vendetta there. Sadzi 1 HP, bomb goes out to get the mech refresh there, but Kazi finding Wonton with the Diva nuke there. Power actually does fall, and Mandarinchester are still pushing the bot here. Gets the stagger there, Elliot onto lucky item there, and ICL are kind of just falling back here now, and Mandarinchester taking the ball back and taking that first checkpoint there and taking the lead now as well.
Yeah. Very, very well played. You're seeing how precise these dives are. I love watching me some dive. You just kind of poking out. You see someone that's just slightly out of line, and you just throw everything at it. It's very, very, very quick and fun to watch. We get the continuing rush coming out from Lucky Item here. They dive Wonton. Down goes Lucky Item as well. And it's not looking good for ICL. Down goes Geode. Down goes Power. And Eloy backs off. Does he get to safety? Just barely, and it's not looking good for ICL.
Elliot using the Echo copy to copy Kazi's Lucio there and getting the beat was absolutely massive for winning that fight there. Able to just give ICL all that extra over health. Able to just push in there and take out all the... Just take out just about everything they have. Lucky Item did pop the Kitsune and Wonton as well. It does not have the Vendetta anymore, so... Mandarinchester, the beat comes out from Mandarinchester again, and that's a secondary beat for them already. And Vendetta comes through here, can't find a pick though. Big Brain has to back off a little bit here, but Sadzi and Elliot finding 2 picks of their own. Lucky Item, Wonton. Elliot and Big Brain finding another 2 there. Mandarinchester, or ICL, sorry, are getting absolutely rolled here by Mandarinchester, and it's just unfair so far what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, we see Wonton coming up into their spawn, bullying the hell out of him. Just dropping the sword on him. Big Brain punishing Wonton. He's like, oh, you want a BM? I'm going to come after you, buddy. Explodes. Echo Elliot coming on for the Lucky Item pick here, but can get the pickup as well onto Eloy. Swaps to the cast instead of the Sojourn. Not working out too much for the... We get the Diva Bomb coming out from Sadzi. Doesn't find anyone, unfortunately. Charon and Big Brain also get their 2 picks, and Game 1 goes to Mandarinchester.
Yeah, that was... At the start, it was decently even, I would say, but after that first checkpoint was capped on the side of ICL, it was just really unfair at that point. It just, yeah, Mandarinchester came back swinging and just didn't even lose the point there up until like right at the end where Power was able to take the point back, but not for long. Mandarinchester immediately turned back around. Big Brain and Big Brain and Sadzi immediately turned around, and although Sadzi was put out of mech, had the Diva Bomb to remech immediately after. So I think at the end there, Sadzi was on a 25 player kill streak. Just ICL didn't have an answer to that. ICL just did not have an answer to the Diva. They could not do much about like how oppressive Sadzi's Diva was there, and it really did show. The dives from Sadzi there and Big Brain were just too much to handle, I'd say, and it was a really good showing from Mandarinchester there.
Yeah, for sure. You can definitely see they had a little rocky start at the beginning, you know, lost that first fight, but after that it was pretty steadily in their hands. You saw the Diva and the Vendetta try and find just one person slightly out of position and just send everything they had and blow up that one target, and it just dominoes fall from there. It was very consistent, well played. Can definitely see we might see one of those two getting banned here if we go into this next game because of how good they were, just isolating the one person. You know, the defense mixture coming through on someone like their Cass or their Kiri, who just shuts down getting any healing whatsoever, and you get the sword falling from Vendetta. So much damage, so fast. It's not at all surprising that I feel like we might see a ban on one of those two characters in this next game here, or maybe even a mirror match.
Yeah, every potential. I have to say one thing as well. That Elliot copy into Lucio there to get that beat was a pivotal point there. But we are getting the next map here. It is a Samoa pick. I haven't played Samoa in a long time, I will say that. How about you, huh? Have you played Samoa recently?
I'll be honest, I'm playing a lot of Overwatch just in general. I'm just trying to, you know what, trying to expand my pool a little bit. You know,
get back into
play a little bit more of this game. I think this makes sense if they're going to be running a Ramatra here or a Ramatra Sojourn. This is not surprising. They want to get in there. They want to get in these tight, narrow hallways, and they just want to fight. Not at all surprising for the pick here. I think we will still see possible Diva ban, but aside from that, let's get into our bans here. And the replay would like to show us our bans.
God, we're going to wait a little bit. ICL DV ban, there you are.
There's that DV ban, as for sure. Not surprising. Very good at isolating the one target, and I think is very good into the Ramacha, especially into this map. Just kind of shuts you down, real rough.
Mandarinchester choosing to ban out Bastion there. I think that's totally fair. It's a fair ban, I'd say. They're banning out Mauga and Bastion here, so I mean, obviously the Mauga is now left open and unable to be banned again, but they seem to not like people with very fast-firing guns, I'd say.
No,
but
very, very good weapons is what I would say as well.
Yeah.
Very good at shredding tanks. Very good, especially if they have like a Kiri. Boom, health bars just melt. It's terrifying to see that happen. So yeah, the Bastion pick here does make a ton of sense, especially because with the Diva, the defense missions can only keep you alive for so long in these sort of scenarios.
We are going into the replay now of Samoa. So, do you think that Mandarinchester are going to take this as a 2-0, or do you think ICL are going to come back out? Now that the Diva's banned, do you think ICL are standing a bit more of a chance here?
Ooh, we're going to see, looks like we're going to see Amalgamir, so I'm not sure. I was originally voting for ICL here. You know, I thought maybe we would see the Ramatra come out and they would get something cooking, but I think this can go either way now. We're seeing a bit of a comps change, like a big roster change here. So this could go really either way. We're seeing that Mandarinchester, very good. They're very good at maintaining their momentum. But ICL, they still are playing well. They just aren't finding those picks early enough.
Yeah. Elliot, both teams picking this Metro to get the TP out and switching back. Elliot onto the Tracer now and wants them onto the Vendetta still, as that is still open. But average Amalga gameplay here, both of them just reeling into each other, but nobody really losing any HP here.
I think we might see some people fall very quickly with these picks. Power goes down, and so does Wonton. This is very bad for ICL. Down goes Lucky Item, and it looks like the first point's going to go to Mandarinchester. Ooh, the stagger on Eloy is not good. I think Geo gets out just in time, though.
Mandarinchester there immediately just finding two really big picks there on the side of Power and Wontom, and it was just unlucky after that, I think. Just had to back up, had to reset after that. Losing your Mauga in that Mauga mirror is just, it's a bit too much of a big loss there. You just have to reset. But ICL is now back, looking for a redemption fight here. Both Maugas, again, just kind of focusing each other, but Sachi diving onto the back line, Power peeling back onto both of them. Wontom finding big brain there. ICL finding a pick immediately. And Eloy is 1 HP, but he does have the Wraith to get out. Power finding Sharon there. And ICL are looking right back into this fight here. Sadzi is 1 HP, cannot get any heals, and Lucky Item is finding that pick. Kazi does go down as well, and that's ICL winning back the point. 43% for the side of Mandarinchester, so can't complain too hard with that, can you?
No, definitely not. Very well played. Just definitely trying to get those picks early has been so valuable. Once one falls, the rest do seem to fall. Once Vendetta gets all of her stacks going, it's very hard to get her stopped, especially with that lifesteal perk. Very minor nerf that we saw, but I still think she's going to be very good when she starts going. It's going to be hard to stop her. We're seeing two Maugas face off at each other, try and get a bunch of damage into each other. We see the ults coming out from Sadzi and Power. And down goes Sadzi, as well as the ult from him. Big Brain dead. And Kazi also going down, as well as Charon, and ICL holds for their next fight. Like I said, these early picks are just so valuable for these team comps. They snowball. As well, we haven't commented, Eloy swapped to Reaper.
I'd say it's completely fair. Very valid swap, but we did see obviously Mandarinchester pull out both Malgal and Kiri ult there, so it was a couple of big losses there, but they still have the Pulse and Vendetta ult coming up here, but Lucky Item still have Kit Rush, and we see the Kit Rush come through there. Big Brain does get Lucky Item almost immediately. Satsi goes down to Power, and Satsi's getting absolutely, completely diffed in this matchup, it seems. And Wontom and Sharon finding their own picks there as well. Wontom trying to 1v1 Sharon there, but Eloy comes in and finds Big Brain and Sharon, and that's another team kill for ICL, and it looks like that ICL is going to be able to hold the rest of this point up until 100% here, and ICL look like they're taking this map quite confidently, or taking this point at least.
It's not looking for Mandarinchester. They only got, the Kitsune Rush to 50%. Meanwhile, ICL do still have the Death Blossom, as well as a beat to respond to anything else that they might have coming towards them very shortly. But again, we've seen just one pick can be the difference between, a losing fight and a winning fight. Force the TP from Lucky Item, but down goes Lucky Item very fast. As well as Sadzi. Sadzi just exploding so fast from the Vendetta and the Mauga mirror. It's too much. Cassie also going down for Mandarinchester, as well as Charon and Big Brain. And it looks like game one is going to ICL. They are not over with it yet. They want blood.
Yeah, that was a much better map there. A much better point, at least, from ICL there. We can totally see now why the Mauga was banned out on Runasapi there. Power seems very comfortable on the Mauga here. But as well, the rest of ICL there too. A Lucky Item on the carry, finding a lot of picks themselves. Wontom as well, big dives. Eloy onto the switch onto the Reaper in the end there as well. Made a lot of a big difference there. They lost out in the first fight. Let Mandarinchester get up to 43%, but then after that, it didn't let them touch ever. After that, Elliot got a little bit of touching to the end on the Tracer, hopping onto point, pushing overtime, recalling back out, but not much of a response from Mandarinchester after losing that second fight and losing that point here.
Yeah, for sure. The Reaper swaps make sense in these Mauga matchups. Just this character refusing to die whenever they pop their E. And once they get going, you kind of just need so much damage so fast. So Reaper, the Bastion ban makes sense. And Vendetta, man, she starts getting those stacks. It's really hard to heal through all of that damage because it's so bursty. And the pick early onto Satsi and Charon is Cassie. These players just go down so fast. Eloy and Wontom also falling down. Elliot and Big Brain also falling. And ICL capped for the first point here.
Yeah. That was a very, very quick fight there from ICL. Very convincing there. I honestly didn't see too much what happened. I saw some Vendetta gameplay, and then everybody was dead. And I think that's all you can really say about Vendetta.
Welcome to Vendetta.
Welcome to Vendetta, yeah. Well, that's all you can really say about Vendetta gameplay in this meta, but... Ooh. Both Maugas already taking big chunks out of each other. Power is already dead. Caron finding a pick onto the opposing support there. Geode goes down. However, Lucky Item can't stay alive for much longer. Wonton and Eloy finding picks as well, but Sadzi trading back onto Eloy. Wonton falls, and Mandarinchester have won back the point. It seems that a team can win the first point, but then immediately lose the second fight, lose the point again. But this time, at least Mandarinchester capped a bit faster than ICL did on the first point there.
For sure, for sure. Power just taking so much damage so fast. Just the burst in these comps is crazy to see. We're seeing Eloy try and bully this backline just a little bit. He takes the brawl with Mauga, and down goes Cassie and Sadzi. Wonton also falling, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much. This Lucky Item also falls. ICL still very winnable for them. They retake the point. Elliott's looking very low, gets the health back. And Mandarinchester, this fight is still going because Sadzi's back. He wants more. He wants to take this brawl with the Mauga. We're going to see the double ults coming out soon. Power holding off. And he falls too fast. The death blossom coming out. And Geo, Power, and Wonton falling. Mandarinchester retake points. And ICL regroup here at their spawn.
Yeah, you can genuinely just really see the strength of that Mauga here. Just, even though you thought the fight was over, Sadzi immediately diving right back in, popping that Maugal, and just keeping it going. Elliot as well with the Death Blossom there, it's causing so many more problems there. But ICL already back onto point here. Big Brain holding that Vendetta ult, trying to find something with it, but cannot find anything. ICL with the both Kit Rush and Maugal here. B comes out. Both Maugas are stunned. This is so much going on. Big Brain finding a kill onto Lucky Item there. Power falling as well. And Eloy finding the Death Blossom. And so many trades going back and forth here. Mandarinchester look like they're trying to take the point here. Geode falling along with Wonton there. And Mandarinchester taking this point back. This point has been so heavily contested compared to that first point. And it's just trades back and forth, blow for blow. Cannot find one team that is looking more convincing than the other here.
Definitely not. This is brutal. You see these early picks happen, and because there's so much burst damage all the time from both of them, it kind of doesn't matter. Unless another pick comes out at the same time, you're seeing just the snowball effect happen really fast. Elliot might be a victim to this pick here. Sadzi dipping really, really, really low. And we're seeing Wonton dueling this backline here, and Sharon and Sadzi quickly explode. Big Brain also exploding, Elliot also exploding. So much damage from ICL, and ICL retake the point. I think we're only going to get maybe one, possibly two fights here in the end. Just so bursty from both of these team comps. The Sundering Blade available for ICL, as well as the Beat and the Cage match coming up online soon. But Mandarinchester, I don't think we have it. Beat the Sundering Blade coming out from Wonton, and he gets the pick onto Big Brain. Sadzi falls as well as Elliot, and the sword is still swinging, and Cassie quickly falls as well. And this point goes to ICL.
And that is a 2-0 on the map of Samoa there to ICL. I mean, that second point, though, was brutal. That was a sluggish match, trading the point back to back to back. Almost every single fight went the opposite way. One team would win, the next fight, the other team would win. And that was a great map to watch, I would say. That was, I mean, both Vendettas are disgusting. Wonton there towards the end, just... it's something to behold. Vendetta is too much, and I can now see why she has banned almost every single ranked game I play.
Oh, it's brutal. Yeah. This character pulls out so much burst damage so fast. If she gets one pick, she just snowballs so quickly. And as well, we do have those changes coming through. So we're seeing that minor perk shift over to the major slot. So you get those overheads coming out more with the siphoning strike. So you're getting more burst damage and more like healing on yourself all the time. So even with this nerf that came through recently on that lifesteal perk, I don't think it's enough. She just does so much damage so fast. And it's brutal to play into.
that overhead strike is just way too strong. They're nerfing the wrong thing. I think the Blizzard dev team. Not gonna say too much about it, but you know, I think we're looking in the wrong places here for how we nerf Vendetta. But very amazing map there to watch.
I've lived some
teams.
Blizzard nerfs and some a bunch of games now, so
On
I've
WoW
expected
player,
this from them.
on WoW player.
I'm playing them all, brother. I've seen some WoW nerfs. I've seen some Heroes of the Storm nerfs. This is on par for Blizzard.
Yeah,
but it's funny.
It's typical. It is funny. I feel like it does make the game a little bit bad sometimes, but overall, it is very fun to watch. But we love that here. We love that here, don't we?
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's true.
Anyway, we're on to our map here, Hollywood.
For
Classic
the
map.
final map, going all the way to map 3 here. Both teams convincing wins on both sides, both maps though. No, very convincing win for Mandarinchester on Runasapi, and then ICL Samoa, very convincing as well. Although second point was a lot more contested, it felt very confidently ICL's point up until the end, up until the very end there. So Hollywood, we are obviously getting the bans coming through here now, with ICL banning out the Echo here. I mean, there was obviously a little bit Echo from Elliot there on Runasapi, but I think on Hollywood, the sightlines here and like the vertical play is very strong here. So that's a totally I'd say it's a fairly decent ban there, especially if Elliot's confident on the Echo there. It is a very valid ban, and Mandarinchester taking out the Ramatra as well. So hopefully we'll see a better Winston here on Hollywood. I'm a big fan of the monkey gameplay, as I'm totally not a monkey main myself. But hopefully coming into at least the second after the the initial point capture, we will be able to see some Winston. But we'll also have to wait and see once we get into the map there. So opinions on those bans, Darren?
Makes 100% sense. The Ram ban here is very good. I dabble in quite a bit of Ram myself. I love this tank. Seeing the fields come out in some of these points here, this field just does so much damage. It's great for locking down these chokes. But I would love to see me some Winston. I'm a Winston fiend, bro. I love this tank. But I think we're gonna be going into game number 3 here as well.
We are not going into the game.
We are not going into game number 3. I was lied to.
Here we are.
Okay.
ICL, Elliot was on nothing there for a second, but we are now seeing Elliot onto the Tracer here. Sadzi on that D.Va again, though. Kazi with the Wu Yang there. Almost forgot his name for a second. Power does switch to the D.Va, though. Was on the Malga for a minute, but has switched now to the D.Va. So we are seeing a D.Va mirror here from both tanks, which I feel like is quite exciting.
Vendetta from ICL, though. Very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like... Oh, no.
Oh,
there it is. There it is.
No,
take it back.
Thought about the Tracer pick. Nope. But
we're going to see something new about...
We are definitely seeing an Ashe pick. That's very interesting. The Reaper staying for Eloy here as well. I'm curious to see what these two picks are about. We'll have to get explaining to this here very shortly, because we're staging up for a big fight. It looks like both of these divas are just gonna look to get a pick, but Power, he's not ready to let Sadzi go. He's like, no, you come back here. I'm gonna be brawling you up here on this high point. One time dropping the sword as well, trying to get as much damage onto Sadzi, jipping a little bit low, not too much though, and just there's no one's falling yet. No one's falling. We're on the ball with keeping people alive, but Big Brain falls very quickly, and so does Charon as well. And Mandarinchester looking very strong going into this fight. Elliot dipping super low, Sadzi backing off, and Elliot falls, and Mandarinchester take the first point.
Yeah, it is ICL taking the first point. Actually, the teams are the wrong way around, just for a little bit here, but that is ICL taking the first point there. Very sluggish to begin with, but as soon as you said, that one team falls, or as soon as that one player falls, the rest do seem to follow shortly after. But we are obviously seeing the high ground contested. As always with Hollywood, you want to contest this high ground immediately. Sadzi is trying to find a little bit of a dive there, but Wonton falling really weak, has to back away 2 point now. Elliot in the Tracer is all the way in the back line there, but is having to dip out. And that is not too much happening. Elliot, oh! Sniped by the Vendetta. Elliot does fall, and that is a big pick for the side of ICL there.
I think this might not matter too much, but it does because Big Brain also falls, and it's ICL trying to push advantage, and it looks like they're just holding their ground. Mandarinchester seem like they still can win this fight. Zadzi backing off just a little bit, as well as Elliot falling again to the Vendetta. Oh, I think
Elliot
we might
is
be
not having a good time against this Vendetta here. Sadzi does find a trade back to on Eloy there. Chao on 6 HP.
6 HP in a dream.
Does live, is able to get out there. And ICL is pushing this point real far. Kit Rush comes out from the side of Mandarinchester there. Big Brain is tanking damage onto Power there. Out of mech, Power is left in Baby Diva form. It does not live for much longer. Gets boosted down by Sadzi. And Big Brain and Mandarinchester are coming back, swinging, pushing all the way back into spawn there. And Sadzi is able to let themselves go down there as they have the nuke to refresh themselves with.
I'm not sure, but that nuke, honestly, that felt very greedy. Obviously, you have to press that there. You can't let them take a tank down. It's really bad. But we see a sneaky little backhand from Eloy. But Wonton also falls as well as Lucky Item. And, oh, jeez. The double pick early is really rough to see happen.
ICL 3-man fall, and unfortunately they just can't take that fight anymore and have to back up. And Mandarinchester back to this high ground here. Contest this high ground as always, but they now have this space to easily take it back and hold it. Big Brain already finding that overhead strike onto the Diva there, taking a little bit of damage. We have the Vendetta ult active on the side of Mandarinchester here. He comes through. Wu Yang ult as well. Eloy finding Big Brain there. Kazi trading onto Wonton. Eloy finding a Death Blossom. Charon finding Lucky Item as well. ICL down 2 players. Mandarinchester the exact same. Sadzi does find a boost kill onto Geode there. Charon also finding Eloy. But ICL are now no longer able to push point any further. And Mandarinchester are back again to this high ground after winning that fight.
Big Brain also on the Vendetta mirror. I haven't noticed that till now somehow, but I feel like I casted it, but I must have forgot. Short-term memory. It makes everything interesting to me.
That's true.
We got the Vendetta mirror coming out as well. Elliot looking like he's recovering as well, playing very well now. The Katsuna Rush coming out from Lucky Item, but one time so low. Charon falls, trying to keep... Oh, no. We're seeing the Centering Strike coming out from Big Brain here. Doesn't quite land on anyone. Very good at getting people away from you, though. Unironically, zoning with this ult very scary because he gets a big bad. Power making Big Brain fall, punishing him for missing that ult, though. And
Sadzi has the bomb.
The rush coming out from Charon. Sadzi, he's so lit. Drops the bomb. Mostly to live, it looks like. Elliot and Wonton finding the 2 picks. Wonton also getting a pick onto Charon. This can go to anyone's kill.
ICL are looking way better this fight here. Power did eat the pulse bomb there. Don't know if you saw that, but decently big ult I'd say. Wonton D-mech Sadzi there. ICL, Wonton again finding that Baby Diva now. Kazi looking to fall by the hands of Wonton. However, Kazi does get the melee kill onto Lucky Item, and ICL, unless Mandarinchester are wanting to contest this, then ICL are taking this point quite convincingly. There is a bit of a contest here from Elliot. Thunderblade comes out. Lee comes through as well for the side of ICL. They are wanting this point for their own. Sadzi gone immediately. Eloy, Elliot finding their own picks. And this fight is brutal. 0.27 meters left on the side of ICL, and they are able to find that last 0.2 meters. Power finding double boost kill, by the way, there.
Yeah, that's impressive. Oh man, that's
a lot of boost kills from both these divas, I feel.
Sure. Gearing up here, trying to make as much space from Power, keeping them all in this hallway. I think just the way he wants. Vendetta not having it though, constantly dropping the sword, trying to make the D.Va back up. We only have one ult online for Elliot with the Pulse Bomb, 2 coming from ICL. They have the Nuke and the Death Blossom, but Nuke from Sazzy's also coming up as well. Just it kind of looks like everyone's getting them up online here. We're seeing Elliot mark the Fury in the back, ping to his team. Hey, let's dive this target. And Big Brain, he's dripping really low, and he falls to the Death Blossom. Is that going to be enough though? The Nuke coming out from Sadzy, but it doesn't matter. Womtom gets the pick onto him. Big Brain has the Sundering Strike available. Kazi struggling very bad. Sadzy swapping to Zarya for a second, but he holds off. He says, no, I need D.Va, touch the point. Kazi also coming up soon with the B and the Sundering Strike. Kitsune Rush coming out from Lucky Item. Big Brain falls from tower. The B drop coming out from Kazi. It's a big brawl for the point on last. False bomb coming out, but it gets Susu'd from Lucky Item. B drop coming out, trying to keep him in this fight just a little bit longer. Kazi so low. He's so low. Can he live? He's so far away from D.Va. Elliot falling to Lucky Item. Just that first DPS from Q though, so scary. Womtom picking up the kill on Sadzy, and Kazi explodes from the Thunder Strike, and ICL get their 3-cap on Hollywood.
Very convincing last fight there. It was brawly for a little while, but ICL coming out in the end there. I feel like they just had way too much momentum after that, like last fight on that second checkpoint there. They just had a bit too much momentum going into it. Eloy with that the TP in and the Death Blossom. It was eating a decent amount, but it was still very big. Found a big pick onto Big Brain, and it was honestly just it was the pick you needed there from ICL, and convincing last fight for ICL to take that 3 points. They only have 14 seconds though, so Mandarinchester are definitely looking to cap this. Even just a minute faster would be very big for Mandarinchester here.
Oh yeah, 100%. ICL got that, like you said, that early pick very good. They were just left on the back foot from Mandarinchester. They constantly just they felt like they were constantly trying to make sure that point didn't touch. But I do find Mandarinchester is very comfortable in these difficult scenarios. So I don't think the 3-point is gonna phase them too much, honestly. But Sadzy on the Zarya, he's not having it.
That's valid. Kazi switching out from the Lucio onto the Wuyang there. So we are looking to make. Oh, doesn't matter. Back to Lucio. Back to Lucio. Oh wait, no, back to the. Nope, wait, we're indecisive. We're back to the Wuyang here.
Bit of an identity crisis, but we are getting the Wuyang mirror. We are seeing the Vendetta mirror as well. This is very difficult. So much damage on a Big Brain, but not enough. And we're seeing so much. Everyone just falling so fast. Elliot dipping so low. The Sundering, this Womtom missing the overhead. Kazi goes, "No, you're not having this. Get back into spawn, buddy." And we get Geo trying to get his team to back up. Aloy falling to the sword from Big Brain here, and Big Brain also getting his pick onto Geode. ICL falling so fast. Mandarinchester, yeah, this is brutal.
Yeah,
getting the point on this so fast is very good for them.
Yeah, there's a big dive from Big Brain. A lot of damage came out from Big Brain there, which just made ICL have to back away for a second and try to regroup. But after that, Mandarinchester just dominating that left lane there with that Zarya and Wuyang as well. Kazi finding a really big pick. And it was just, from there, it was just Mandarinchester's fight to win.
Power swapping to the Mauga. He's just not having these bubbles, shredding through them. He's like, oh yeah, this Zarya is going to get charged, but I don't care. I'm going through this bubble. I want to get my picks. Sadzy getting a pick onto Eloy. I don't think it's going to matter too much though. Lucky Item just brawling Elliot on the point here. He's not having it. He's like, no, I'm a third DPS. And Elliot getting a double kill. Big Brain getting a double kill. And ICL are not looking great here. These fights are so handily going to Mandarinchester.
Yeah, that was just a very quick and easy fight for Mandarinchester there. Sadzy finding that first pick onto Eloy there. Not too much that ICL could have done about it from there on out. It was just a very convincing fight. But we do see Power switching onto the Hazard there. Hazard is, I think, one of Power's good picks, one of his comfort picks here. So hopefully ICL looking to turn the tables here after making that switch. Big Brain already finding Geode. Not looking good for ICL. That is a big pick for Mandarinchester there. And just so much going on. Mandarinchester is able to pop that kit rush, and it is just, again, ICL falling over, stumbling, and Mandarinchester just have not much else they can say other than look at us. Look at our attack here.
Yeah, that 14 seconds on for ICL on that third point might just not be enough. Mandarinchester looks so comfortable just forcing any kind of swap to get things done. Sundering Strike coming up from Big Brain, gets a hit on the Lucky Item. He's super lit, but it doesn't matter. He's turning his attention over to Hazard, and Hazard falls for ICL. The beat drop coming out from Geo, but it's just slightly too late. Not looking good for ICL because Elliot also falls. This is still winnable though for ICL. Wonton getting his pick on Elliot. He had him tipping super low, as well as Wonton. Sazzy dropping, Wonton falling. And Mandarinchester have to back off. They have to respect this fight.
Even with the pick onto power there, Mandarinchester still couldn't find anything more than that though, and ICL looking a bit better on the defense here. Even though power did fall immediately, ICL was able to come back in and find that defensive hold. But 3 minutes here left to try and cap this point. Mandarinchester are back to pushing it. There is not much of a contention there. Wonton and the rest of Mandarinchester trying to fight for this high ground here.
Wonton gearing up to duel the Diva. It's not looking like it's going too well. Not much is happening. A lot of things happening neutral. Big damage happens on the Big Brain, and Satsy, Charon are dripping super low. Can they stay alive? They're so low. Charon, oh my god, just live. They just have to live. And Charon falling, but Satsy still just alive, just ever so slightly. This still can go to Mandarinchester. They're on point. Elliot's super lit, but no, they back off. They try not to trickle in. Do not give too much ult charge. Just living so long in that little corner.
Power using the downpour there as well to ensure that fight. Eloy is sat on the low ground here, looking for some pick. Elliot with the Death Blossom, finding big damage, but no picks in the end. Mandarinchester popping that kit rush. Huge damage from here. Sadzi meleeing power into the ground there. Elliot finding Eloy as well. ICL are now looking on the back foot here. Elliot, Big Brain do find their own picks though. And again, that's ICL. Gone. The defensive half from ICL here is not looking too hot. 3 minutes and 5 seconds here on the side of Mandarinchester to cap out on this final point. And as you said earlier, that 14 seconds from ICL on attack is not looking nowhere near enough if Mandarinchester can keep up this attack momentum here.
Because he's staying on the Wu Yang. He's very comfortable still. He doesn't want to give it up. Big Brain dipping pretty low. Doesn't look like it's going to matter too much though. Still gearing up, playing in this little hallway, but I think ICL just back off and they try and play main. Definitely a smart call, especially with the Reaper Diva Wonton falling, and he's down from Kazi. Just the pressure so much. Eloy in the turret form forces Elliot to back off just a little bit. If he contests it, he will just explode. Geo dipping a little low. Sadzi so low, dropping the nuke, forcing them back off, giving them the point. This 14 seconds is just not looking like enough for ICL. Elliot backing up as well. We have the Wu Yang ult and the Vendetta ult for Mandarinchester. Wonton popping his own Sundering Strike. Big Brain popping his own Sundering Strike. Cassie popping his own. The Continued Rush coming out from Lucky Item. ICL are also so low. 2 falls. Power falls. Geo falls. Wonton trying to desperately get as much time as he can, and he also falls. And Mandarinchester, 2 minutes and 37 seconds on their attack.
That was a insane attack half there from Mandarinchester. ICL looking a bit better into the mid round there, but after that second checkpoint was captured, it was Mandarinchester's game to just take for their own there. Mandarinchester, very aggressive team there. You saw them push all the way into ICL spawn, throwing a nuke right at the spawn door as well, which is a bit BM, but it is what it is. And Mandarinchester are just looking so strong here on this attack half. ICL now looking to try and make something out of this OT here, but if Mandarinchester can keep up this momentum that they have, it's not going to be too hot for ICL, and Mandarinchester are potentially going to take this map in a, well, I would say is a dominant fashion. The score is close, but the difference in the level of play from these two teams have been quite immense on both halves.
I think these teams are very, very close. This can be any. I would say this is still anyone's game. Yeah, they're down to only 1 minute, but ICL Wontom really good at trying to get those early picks as well. Alloy as well. He's very, very comfortable trying to get his duels. And Lucky Item, we've seen him constantly just be basically a third DPS. He's just not having being super squishy in the back. But here we go. We're into round 3 on Hollywood, game 3 as well. Can ICL clutch it out, get their final game? Can they turn it around, or are Mandarinchester just gonna run away with this huge lead that they've built up? Alloy dipping a little bit low. We're just kind of playing at the neutral in main here. Mandarinchester backing off the points, just giving as much space as they can. Very interesting play. Still gearing up. Looks like someone wants to take this high ground, and Cameron dipping a little bit low. Don't think it matters too much. Cassie also dipping a little bit low. Big fight in this hallway, but also nothing seems to be dying. Lots of damage coming through. Alloy dipping a little bit low, as well as Elliot. Cassie dipping super low as well. Cassie falls! And it's not looking good for Mandarinchester. Caron also falling. Big Brain also falling. ICL trying to get as much advantage as they can. Sad C falls as well, and Elliot gets out safe.
Again, it's almost the exact same as round 1. ICL on that attack starts off quite slow, big damage, but no picks. But eventually, one falls. In this case, it was Kazi on the side of Mandarinchester that falls first, and from there, it was ICL just to take that point. Snowballing, as always, really brawly first fight there, taking a while to find a first pick. But once that pick does fall, that the fight ends up ending within the next few seconds there. But ICL OT now only had that minute to capture that point, so looking to push this as far as they can in OT.
Yeah, they can't stray too far from point here. They gotta stay their ground. Wontom trying to get his space for his tank, because I think he wants power to stay point with the nuke, trying to deny as much space as he can. Wontom playing the basically off tank role that we see so often from the Vendettas here. The beat drop coming out for Geode, as well as Caron's Kitsune Rush. Very scary. We have to keep someone on point. It's very unfortunate. We got to play a little bit behind. Nothing seems to be falling. A lot of buttons are coming out. No one's dying. Wontom's lit. Big Brain's lit. We get the double kill. Still, this can go to absolutely anyone here. This is anyone's point still. ICL still pushing and trying to make space. We have the Alloy's power, or Alloy's Death Blossom coming out, getting his pick onto Cassie. We have the bombs able to come out. Second Death Thruster from Elliot. Gets the double kill on the backline. Elliot also falls. And ICL still have this point.
Power has been very big this attack half here. Has done a lot for his team here. Sadzi, though, on the other team, finding the booster kills, and Mandarinchester closing out that OT round there. ICL, sorry, only being able to get to 4 there, but they did get it quite far into that second point. Mandarinchester now responding with well over double the time that ICL had, and considering Manchester's first attack half, I don't think ICL really pushed that nearly far enough. Mandarinchester, if they keep up the exact same sort of attack half that they did in round 2 there, this will 100% go the way of Mandarinchester. ICL, though, were looking quite good there. Had a lot of big picks. Eloy with the Death Blossom, but Elliot matching it even more so with more picks. And then Sadzi in the end, finding the last 2 to take ICL completely off that point and push this game to a very close match. But yeah, Mandarinchester here, hoping to close it out and push it just that little bit further than ICL did.
Yeah, for sure. Mandarinchester really good at pushing their advantage. They get that one pick, and that's all that matters. And they are good at finding that one pick. That's the scariest thing. And as well, they get having this 2 minutes is super scary for multiple reasons. The big one is if they mess up on that first attack, they get another, go at it as well. So even if, God forbid, they do mess up on their dive, they get a second one, and they're so good at pushing this advantage. We're seeing Sadzi switch to the Zarya. He just wants to make sure these picks are going well for him. Looking to bubble Big Brain in, get that pick. It's gonna be super scary here. ICL dropping back to the point as well.
Yeah, Lucky Item already really weak there, but Sadzi already dead though. Eloy finding that pick. Big Brain trading back onto Geode there, and this is a very even fight. Mandarinchester looking like they already just want to reset there. They've lost 2 of their players now, Sadzi and Kazi. They're just looking to reset. As you said, though, they still have so much more time than ICL did, so even though they did end up losing that first fight, they are able to just reset and take it again.
We see, Sadzi go back to the D.Va. It's like, no, didn't work. Let's go back to the D.Va. It worked very well. He's able to take these duels. He's great at getting his booster picks. Big damage coming in from both teams. We're just still looking perfect. Elliot's super low, and Elliot falls.
This defense half from ICL is looking so much better.
They back up Mandarin not giving them the time. ICL holding very firmly, not giving any room to Mandarinchester. They get their pick and they try and push to the advantage. But Mandarinchester, no, hey, let's not stagger this out. We have so much time to work with. Let's just play together, group up, look for our next pick, and we'll make it work out here. It's working very well for them. Elliot dipping low again, though. Eloy coming in Geode, and Eloy falling, not looking good for ICL on this point. Kieran also dipping super low. Power drops the nuke, but Big Brain, he gets the pick on the Power. Mandarinchester contesting this point. Sadzi working in Baby D.Va, working on trying to get that Big Mech back. Make sure they can get their second life. It'll be super valuable. We have Kitsune Rush available to both teams very shortly. It's not looking good for ICL. They do only have 40 seconds to push this whole point. This is basically overtime. This is still super close. Whoever gets this touch here, it's their game. This is anyone's game.
Yeah, Sadzi though find a really big pick there at the start there, and it just was Mandarinchester coming back right back in. Kazi already finding lucky item. Charon finding Geo. That is both ICL supports down now. Big Brain finding 2 more there. Eloy and Wonton. And that's really it. ICL cannot defend this any longer. Sadzi getting that final hit onto Power there, and ICL are pushed all the way back now, and Mandarinchester now into the overtime though. There is still a very big chance for ICL to win this. They just need to win one more big fight here, but Mandarinchester on this attack has been so good, so I really don't know how this will go.
We have 4 ults available to Mandarinchester, but we do have 2 ults available for ICL as well. But the Total Blast coming out on the Big Brain. He's trying to get his pick. He finds the pick on the Geo. Not good. Eloy falls with the Death Blossom. This sword coming down from Wonton. Lucky item falling as well. This is not looking good for ICL. Bomb coming up from Power. Get the second life. It looks like he's going to try and keep himself, but he falls to Big Brain. Elliot dueling Wonton. And this game... No, Geo's not done yet. I just don't think it's going to be enough. The Death Blossom. And Eloy falling.
That's it.
And
Mandarinchester
set
2-1
goes to Mandarinchester.
That was an intense half. That was a very intense map. I'd say a 4-5 from the side of Mandarinchester there. Very good. That was twice though. Power popping that nuke to try and get the mech back, but Big Brain with the Vendetta just cannot live for that long. The Baby D.Va cannot live against a Vendetta for very long, as I'm sure we could easily assume. But Power there falling twice to Big Brain, and that was honestly a deciding fact. But yeah, what do you think about that map? That was a very intense map.
I was on the edge of my seat that whole game. I'm not gonna lie.
It was very good.
Vendetta is such an explosive, bursty character. It feels a bit repetitive, but every time you see that sword come down and someone explodes, it can change the pace of an entire fight so fast. You can see people gearing up, and just the damage coming through from all of these characters is terrifying. One fall can be the difference between, a win or a loss point. ICL, very good hold on that last point there, but it just wasn't enough. I think they lost that ult fight a little too early. Had they had a couple more ults, it might have been a little different, but unfortunately, Mandarinchester, clutching it out, winning that set very well. I think we're going to cut to a break here. We will see you guys very shortly.